mentioned yesterday that there was Shittis B'das Rambam, that the truth is you can go to your Crayola box, take out crayon number 54, Prussian blue, and if it could dye, it's going to color on the outside, it's not going to be good, but if it could technically dye the wool and get into the tzitzis, it would be kosher. Akapanim by the Beis HaMikdash, by the Klei HaMikdash, it's like that. The Tiferes Yisrael seems to be mitzaded that even for the tzitzis it's like that. Except that there's a Mefurish Tosefta in Menachos, and the Tosefta says, Techeiles ein sheira ela min achilazin. Hevi shaloi min achilazin, psula. Mefurish Tosefta that says that in order to have this pashas, if you're looking at the Tosefta, the parak over there speaking about the dinim in the Beis HaMikdash, kipshuta, it means that if you bring a beged in the Beis HaMikdash for Klei HaMikdash and you make it not out of chilazin, it's possible. Also, Mefurish brought down the mitzvah of tzitzis. It's a brais in Ilchas Tzitzis that says ein tzayvim Techeiles ela min achilazin. So it's Mefurish black on white. There's nothing you can't argue on that. That you have to make the blue. The Techeiles has to come from chilazin. Except the shaila is, where's the shenemar from the Tosefta? Where does the Tosefta come from? Is it a Gemara? Is it a drasha? Is it a pasuk? Where is there a Gemara? Where's the Makar Taken from the Tosefta? The Tosefta says it. You have to bring it from chilazin. But how is that? Allah Moshe Sinai. So the Radziner goes through this Indian, and the Radziner says that there's no drasha. There's no Gzeres HaKosov. The Torah wanted Techeiles, that the color of Techeiles, and Techeiles is a color. The Torah wanted the color that it should be steadfast to the beged, to the wool. There should be no fading. And it should never lose its brilliance of color. That's what the Torah was makpid on. The Torah, Chazal knew that if you do it from a chilazin, you're going to get that maila. And what the Gemara was mainly coming lafuke was that there was, in those days, there was a imitation of Techeiles. There was this other type of Techeiles. It wasn't a real Techeiles. It was made out of kol elon. It was a much cheaper version, but it was a counterfeit. It wasn't really chilazin. The chisaron was that it fades away eventually. And so Chazal wanted lafuke that, and they said that there are certain simonim that you have to go through to see if it does fade, if it doesn't fade with certain chemicals. And that's what they were coming lafuke when they said that you have to do chilazin. Chilazin, they had a Kabbalah that there has to be something that doesn't go away, doesn't fade. But Eino Chinami, says the Radziner, if you were to find a different type of a material, different chemical, a different source of dye, which would dye Techeiles that doesn't go away, it stays very strong to the beged, he says Eino Chinami. He has a drosha somewhere, he does bring down the Yerushalm that it has to be from a Baal Chai, but he says as long as it's from any Baal Chai it would be kosher, except he says that we don't know and we're not so familiar with the simonim of Chazal. So whatever we're going to try and all the tests that we're going to do to see if it stays strong, we'll never know for certain that that's good enough for Chazal. So he says, but the less brayer, you had to find the chilazin. But Eino Chinami, there's no din that you need the chilazin. B'das Rambam. L'maisa is, that's where Radziner ends. It's a little bit schwer to learn like that B'das Rambam, because there's a sefer from Rabbi Avram ben Rambam, it's the Rambam's son on Chumash, and in Parshas Truma, he says when they're making the kelim of the Beis HaMikdash, he says, V'tzviyasai b'dam chilazayin v'loi b'zulasai, and he seems to say over there that it's a halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Unless he's arguing on his father on the Rambam, which he Pashas isn't, sounds like it's to come somehow, it's taka not a drasha, but you do need the chilazin b'davka, not only so that it should be tzviyasai yafe, and lo yishtane, like the Rambam's lashon was, but there's a din taka that you need the chilazin because of a halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Other Rishonim also before like that. Tosfos in Menachos, he asked the kasha tema. Tosfos a tema. How is it shayach? The Gemara says that when you made the Techeiles, so if Shmuel Bar Yehuda told him that you take the dam chilazin and you mix it in with other chemicals, with samamonim. So Tosfos says, how could you do that? Don't you need the Techeiles? How could you add in other Samonim? You're having the color done by something else besides the Chilazim. So Tosfos says, Shma Mino Vais Tosfos see from here that the Gzeres HaKos of Gufu was that the type of Techeiles is the Chilazim with the Samonim. But it sounds like you definitely need the Chilazim. That was Tosfos' whole Anoch in the Kasha, and his answer is that Nichla, besides the Chilazim, you also have to add some Monim. But not that you could do it from anything. Rashi has a very interesting shita. It seems from Rashi in Chumash a couple of times, Rashi by the Seder HaMishkan, by the Nidvus HaMishkan, beginning of Truma, and Rashi at the end of Shlach when it comes to the mitzvah of Tzitzis, on the word Techeiles, Rashi seems to disagree with the Hanocha that Techeiles just means a color. No, Rashi says Techeiles does not just mean a color. Rashi says twice Techeiles, Tzemer Tzavua B'dam Chilazim. There's a few things that make something Techeiles. It has to be into Tzemer, and it has to be from Dam Chilazim. Those two things together, Dam Tzemer Tzavua B'dam Chilazim, that is the definition in the dictionary. The definition of Techeiles is not just a color in any beged from any dye that colors that color. But Techeiles is Tzemer that's Tzavua B'dam Chilazim. That is what the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted. That is what Techeiles is. And Memela, with this Yifadim, the Radziner is very bothering. He goes through a pilpul mamish. The Bekiyas is scary, but he has a kasha. The Noy Yehuda in his sefer, there's a tshuva from the Noy Yehuda's son also about this Indian of whether or not you need min hamuter beficha. The Gemara in Shabbos learns out that mitzvahs need any mitzvah that you do l'chayr, you should have to do it from something which is kosher to eat. If you want to make something in the Mishkan with a type of an animal, it's not kosher, it might passel. And maybe by other mitzvahs, by tefillin, it's like that. You have to have an mutter beficha. You can't put leather of type of animal. You can't eat that leather. So maybe they all ask, so what's the pshat by Techeiles? How do you make the tzitzis, the tzevet bedam with chilazin? And the chilazin is something which after is not kosher. And they mutcha, and the Radziner comes out. It's tzad. He says that it doesn't really penetrate the cuttlefish. It's sort of he's medameh through the case of honey, which goes into the bee, and the Gemara in Bechayris handles. Why is that not a trait? So honey goes into the bee, and then it comes out. It should be part of the bee. Bee is not a kosher animal, and the Gemara says no, that it doesn't mamish go into the bee itself. And the same thing he wants to tie in after with the cuttlefish. Says it's a side thing. It comes from the outside, doesn't go through the body of the fish. But according to Rashi, it's pashut. I mean, just like Moshel, there's a mitzvah of pigeon peter chamor. No one's going to ask, it's a treifa animal. How could you do peter chamor? It's a chamor, it's a treifa animal. Or there's a mitzvah of toilas shani. You have somebody dies that you build, that you put into the kelim of the mishkan. The big day kahuna was from toilas shani, which was a worm. I was going to say, it's a treifa animal. Torah says that Torah wanted toilas shani. The Torah wanted a chamor. So to over here, if the type of Techeiles, the definition of Techeiles is dam, which is tzavua b'tzemer chilazin, and we determine, let's say that chilazin is something which is not min hamuter beficha, so then taka in will be kosher. That's what the Torah wanted. But anyway, b'anach sinim salkinan is that there are some shitas. It's not a mekubal dika shita that you could do it from anything. The pashtus is you see from the Rambam, you see from Tosfos and from Rashi that no, there's an absolute chiv when you make the tzitzis to make the Techeiles out of dam chilazin bedafka.